Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do this very simple example, position a three-dimensional object into the eyes of a user in Spark Studio or MetaSpark AR. All right, so for this one, I'm going to close this one, I'm going to discard it, and then I'm going to start with a very simple example. So I hope you already have downloaded MetaSpark Studio, and I'm going to go to the bottom of this pool of examples, which are really great, particularly for beginners, that helps to get into the world of augmented reality and augmented reality filters and mobile augmented reality as well. So remember, we're uploading content in this channel about AR, VR, Unity, Unreal, and also some theory videos about game design, human-computer interaction, VR theories, and all. So if you like the type of content, please subscribe and let's begin. So we're going to check this example, which is a person or user wearing some sort of spectacles glasses we can use for a campaign or for something fun. And we're going to choose this one. We need to load. And once it's open, you'll see something here is very simple. People at Meta make it very easy for us, particularly for beginners, that in the left menu, where if you have your scene, there is some elements below the face tracker, of course, that it says track here and delete me. So these are the elements that we are going to replace with a three-dimensional object. We are going to choose, and you can choose your own from your own library. In my case, what I usually do is I like to go to Sketchfab. So here, Sketchfab is a very nice library of three-dimensional objects and plastic. Okay, so here I'm going to type classes and I'm going to find very different examples like this one. There are many objects here. This is the one I'm going to use, for example, for this video. And as you can see here, there are at least 2 or 3 elements on the three-dimensional objects. In general, when you go to a library, three-dimensional library, I advise you to take a look onto the wireframe, so then you can see how the model is built, how they have built this model, and then how was constructed. Why that is important? Because once the elements are separated, you download the model, then you can apply different materials to each element. So it's very useful. It's a very useful tool here for Sketchfab. You can see here how the model was constructed. I think there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, or at least 3 layers of elements, which are useful for me to apply different materials, and then I can use this model to apply it onto the filter I wanted to build. All right, so then I'm going to the bottom here, and then I'm going to download this model. In this case, there are several formats that you can see, and here I advise you to use, there are 2. For example, in this case, the author to the GLTF, a USDZ, and another GLTF model and a GLP. So if you go to Spark AR, then you will see when you want to import assets, you go here in the left corner, and then if you go to assets and click in import, then you will see that there are, if I have many examples here for ones I do in class and I teach to my students. And then if I click on 3D object or three-dimensional object, then you will see that there's many formats, around 5 formats. Then BAA, which is older format of three-dimensional objects you can use from I think Google SketchUp or another softwares. The famous FBX, where you can import the scene, animations, and other things, right? We use a lot in Unity and Unreal, and then the GLP and the GLTF, which are getting more famous now with augmented reality, that contains several parts. These formats actually keep the separate layers and separate parts, and you can also import materials from them, compress it, of course. And then you have OBJ. So OBJ in general is called so-called PDF or three-dimensional files The problem with OBJ is that in some cases is encapsulated or compacted, so all the information is together, and then when you want to apply different materials to different three-dimensional objects, it's super hard because you got to exploit them or separate them in the software if the software allows you to do that. So in this case, we are going to recommend you to download model, will be probably GLTF. In my case, I already download that format, and I have it on my library. It says classes here, and then you will see two folders. In my case is source folder, which contains the three-dimensional object, and then the textures folder, which we can observe it here. But if we go to like all, we'll see there are two type of materials. All right. So then let's open the source. Let's open our classes, and it's actually loading here. Then you see it's called classes. Click enter here, and then once again we click on the tree of the element that we have just imported. You can also drag elements here for freely. You don't really have to think on do this protocol of importation. I just use it to show you what are the files that are useful for MetaSpark AR, and then where you got classes, frame, handles. We got many things here. So one of them is three-dimensional element, as you can see in the icon on the left. And you got the frame, handles, and another thing called frame one. Okay, so let's see if all of them are useful. First of all, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for us to see the result. Then remember here you can simulate touch, simulate orbit once you're clicking here. You see the effect, and then you also try to remember, shrink this a little bit. There are different devices where you are where you can see the results for different mobile devices that you will apply this AR filter. Got it? So let's move on and drag this three-dimensional object where it says drag here. People are made make it very easy for us. So I'm going to drag it inside the tree, inside the tree that says drag here. And then you'll see a very huge element, three-dimensional element that is moving around, even looking the view of the model here. And then where it says delete me here, these elements, actually the blue glasses, right? I'm going to the right side, the right panel, and then click on visibility, and then click off the visibility. As you can see, if I click here, this is visibly or perceptually gone. Got it? Then going to glasses here, and I'm going to obviously scale this because it's too huge. So I'm going to do something like 0.08 maybe. Try with 0.08, which seems a bit big or proper. And here I usually suggest to stop the simulation or pause the simulation in when the model is in a centered expression. It's the center in the camera. So then here, for example, it's not useful for us because it's not easy to adjust. And then I suggest you to find and wait until the model is in a center position. If you are using your own camera, this is much easier. But I prefer to use different models and try with different people here. Okay, and wait until they are on a centered expression. So in this position here, I'm going to position the glass something a little bit upper. If you want to guide yourself, you also can use the face tracker view. You can see where's the position here and the boundary of the face that is tracking, or the head that is tracking as well. Remember, you click the camera here on the left, you can change if you want to use any of these cameras that your device is connected with, your computer is connected with. You can also change your model to different types, and then I also have full body models that of course are not useful for this example because the distance between the object and the camera, right? But I'll probably continue with this example. Just want to show you this, and then since pretty well adjusted, you can be more precise and try to adjust the scale of this and make it fit better. And now what we are going to do is I will probably change the materials here. Observe what it casts inside each of these elements. So we have a frame, we have the handles, and we also have a glass. Okay, so in the frame here, if we go to the materials, we'll see that below we click on to the materials, glasses, for example, frame and the handles, they don't really have a file chosen on the texture. So first I'm going to click here and I'm going to import this from the folder we just downloaded. So I'm going to open this golden brown material texture, and as you can see, there's no changes on the three-dimensional object, and this is because we have emission here, sending light to the outside the three-dimensional space, in this case the real world probably, and that's why it's looking white. So then in the side now, when we click emission, see, we can see actually the texture. So I'm going to stop here, and I wanted to observe closely where is the element and how the texture is actually looking. It's okay in terms of tiling. You can adjust the tiling here, and you will see, for example, 2, for example, you'll see a little bit pixelated here, and it's 0.5, maybe it's too wide. Really up to what you're looking for. And then we also can adjust it in the other axis, 5, and it will have a different tiling, different proportion of tiling. And then in my case, I will just leave it at 1. Very easy. Then we can just focus on the frame. Got it? So now I'm going to go to the model that I actually download, which is my reference, and I'm going to click here on the final render so I can see how more or less it looks like. So we've got this handles, and we also got this black plastic material. So I'm going to go back here and then to frame and see which is the material I'm actually using. It's called frame. And for the frame, I actually want to build the material. I don't have to really download anything because I want to just build a black material. I'm going to go here and select the color of the materials. Select here, dark, very dark color, and I won't choose any texture, but you'll see this is actually still white because of the emission again. Click on the emission, and we see actually this is looking very, very metallic, very glossy, I would say. And this is because metallic options are too high. So I'm going to lower the proportion of metallicness and then make it more rough. Maybe around 40. Looking nice to me. Actually make it a bit dark. A bit darker, and it's pretty much similar to the model I'm actually looking for. And there you go. So we click play, we see the simulation, and then we actually see our model is more or less fit. Is actually wearing the glasses, more or less a position. You can be more precise if you want so, and adjust it, but that will be all. So I hope this is useful for you, and see you next time.